one, and I stand on that. You and me, babe, that's black on black.
Let me welcome in because I'm curious about some things. He is known as the liberal redneck. Matter of fact, let me give you a little taste. Let's play clip one. Clip one, give you a little taste of this fella. Go ahead.
What's up? About to go to Boston. I love Boston. As a Southerner, I got a soft spot for Boston because I've always felt like culturally they take the heat off of us every now and then. Like, I just feel like if there's a family feud question, which part of America is known for being racist and talking funny? Sure, the South's going to come in at number one, but Boston is a solid number two, though. I appreciate that. But still, I think there's a lot of overlap between like Boston trash and Southern trailer trash. You know, there's a lot there. I mean, you know, in both, people still smoke cigarettes, get regrettable tattoos, play lottery scratch-off tickets. They got mamas who are always talking shit about some other person's kid getting arrested. Dad's always using a screwdriver and cursing God. You know, every summer the family takes a trip to the same damn beach, Cape Cod, or, you know, for us, Myrtle, PCB, Redneck Riviera. Spends the whole time getting sunburnt and fighting drunk. Comes back madder than when you left, right? Both sides still got people that'll gladly call into a sports radio station on a Monday morning and commit a verbal hate crime live on the air because a 22-year-old didn't get their toes down in bounds, right? I did have to say, I don't know where y'all get off bitching about sports in Boston, considering the success you've had, but I mean, we got that in the South too. They're called Bama fans, so I understand. Just like us, people think y'all are backwards. You know, I mean, even your most cultured, respected export, Matt Damon, even that guy just stopped using the F slur like 2 years ago. You remember that? He said he had officially retired that word from his vocabulary. Hilarious way to put that. I always imagined him in a garage in Boston just sadly hanging a Patch jersey from the rafters with that word on the back of it right beside a faded Celtics jersey
with the N-word. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. He's hilarious. Obviously, he's a comedian. And he is also super smart. Let me welcome to the show the one and only Trae Crowder. Hello. Hi.
Hey, thanks for having me. I feel obligated to say, because of where that clip cut out, and then you said, yeah, the N-word is what was, I literally said the words, the N-word, like, because it cut out, because it cut out right there. It kind of felt like you censored me saying the actual word. I just want people to know that I did not, that's not what I said.
Okay. No, that is like, now, like, Amina's very literal. I think Amina did this, right? Yeah. So I send her clips and I say, take out the N-word.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. She took out the N-word. You didn't do that, Amina? Okay, because I told her take out all the N-words so that could happen. You know, welcome. And I know you didn't say because you. No. So you actually talk like this because you got an MBA in psychology. I think. Like, I feel like education is you. I feel like you don't really talk like this.
I know, I get that a lot, but it's like, you know, this would be a weird choice for an accent to fake. You know what I mean? Like, especially having a degree. I don't want people to just assume I hate math every time I run into them or whatever. No, I went to a Cal college in Cookeville, Tennessee, you know, so it wasn't exactly Princeton or anything. But I mean, I did, like, my accent was thick at that school. Like, I sounded country even by the standards of there, because I'm from Clay County, which is like, there's no traffic lights or McDonald's or, I mean, it's rural and as like deep Southy as it gets, really. That's where I grew up. And I got made fun of in my hometown for talking proper when I was a kid. Like, just because I used like multisyllabic words and stuff, right, and liked books, you know.
Salina, Tennessee.
Salina, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
okay.
Jersey. When the I's usually.
I'm sure you're right. Like, we pronounce it wrong. I'm sure, but
right. They call me Karen in Augusta, Georgia. So sure. Apparently, A is short. It's a short, not a long. But okay, Salina, Tennessee. The first person to graduate in your family from college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
The town, as you mentioned, no McDonald's, no street light. Mm-mm. How many Black people?
We have a small Black community in Salina, which is a little unusual. Like, my wife is from a similar sized town also in Tennessee. And I mean, like, they don't have any Black people in their county, I don't think. I think there's a dentist there who's a Black guy, and that's it. In Salina, though, there's a small Black community. It's called the Free Hill community. And so I'd say percentage wise, it's hard to say because the town is so small and that community is small too. Like, I don't know, 8%, maybe, if I'm pulling that out of my ass. Like, I went to school with, in my grade, there was like 60 kids that graduated. And I think we had 5 black kids in my grade, but that was the biggest class in that school. Most of the classes are like 35 to 40 kids, probably 2, 3, 4 are black kids. Roughly.
So growing up, how did you avoid becoming a racist?
I mean, well, I should say I was raised to not be racist.
You should have been like, actually, I didn't avoid it. I'm
well,
racist.
Yeah. No, but also what I tell people sometimes, which is true, is like I heard old people, I heard papaws and stuff be real racist, say the N-word and shit like that. But when I was in school, like, people didn't openly do that because, like, Sky and Philip and Cedric would whip their ass, and I saw it happen multiple times. They were like, you didn't want to fuck with Cedric, dude, or Trae or any of these guys that, like, I loved them. I got along with them, but I'm saying, like, they didn't put up with that shit,
Now, Roderick might be maybe a couple of years older than you, Trae. But I feel like there was a glory decade where racism was not tolerated and it was looked down upon. Maybe, it was that generation. Maybe you grew up in like, who was president when you were in high school?
When I was in high school, I think it was like last Bush and then Clinton, or the first Bush and then Clinton, or something like that.
Mine was, for me, it was, the second, even worse Bush when I was in high school. Okay. But my sister calls me out on this. I should say, I don't want to make it sound like I said, when I was in high school, those guys I named, I saw them send redneck kids to the hospital for saying the N-word to their face or whatever.
Cedric, whoever you are.
Yes, Trae, right. See you.
Yeah, right. And Philip, I just saw Philip the last time I went to Salina at the dollar store, which was cool. He's doing good. But anyway, they but my sister, though, like, she's told me before, because I've talked about this on podcasts and stuff, and I've said what I just said to y'all. And my sister's told me, she's like, that wasn't universal across all the different classes, right? Because in she was 3 years younger than me, and they didn't have Sky and Cedric and Philip or whatever. They had a couple of black girls, right? But, like, she said they had, like, little redneck assholes in their grade who were, like, horrifically racist openly all the time. And that was in the same school, same town. She was just, a generation below me or whatever.
It seems like maybe the fix to racism is to export a Cedric, Philip, or
sure,
every school in America. You know how we used to bus? We used to bus children.
Yeah,
we should bus specific children,
right?
with a specific edict that if you hear even the reference to that, this is your job, and you are imbued, and there's money attached to it, so that you have to do it really well. Like, you come out with a full scholarship.
Maybe you just saw what white flight really is about. Like, it's not just racism, it's also running from the consequences of racism. So it's like, we need to get our school district like 97% white, or else people are not going to be allowed to just say slurs and stuff.
Yeah, right. Well, that also has always annoyed me when I meet people sometimes that are from, like, 99% white places, somewhere else, and, like, just talk about how insanely racist the whole South is or whatever. And I'm always like, well, like, you live in Ronald Reagan's dreamland. You know what I mean? Like, how would you ever encounter anything? It's nothing but white people, And a lot of times those even white liberals from those places, I find, are, like, racist, but don't know they're racist because of that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have anybody around that would be offended, it's hard to find the line of what's offensive.
Right. Exactly. Right.
I think also, like, it is with your accent. My wife also has a very extremely Southern country accent, and it's interesting because people associate that voice type with, like, lower education, not as smart, and all of that stuff. To the point where it made me think, the hook of Matlock, the TV show, is just he got the Southern accent, really.
Right.
Like, there's no reason to think he's not a good lawyer. You can look his record up. He's 100-0, but every episode came down to just like, I don't know if he's gonna get this one, guys. He's got that voice.
Well, I feel like the Southern lawyer is kind of a trope. Like that's one of the, I feel like there's like absolutely, if you have any kind of like Southern sort of accent, they think you're dumb. I feel like, but if you hear that person's a lawyer, you're like, oh, he might be a good lawyer though.
Right. All because of Matlock.
No, but To Kill a Mockingbird goes all the way back.
Yeah.
It's like a thing, the like old Southern lawyer, and then like walking into courtrooms and declaring things. I do declare this is, but like
putting your hands on your suspenders up here,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Seersucker, everything, walk around like foghorn, leghorn. But yeah, that and like weirdly also authors, like Southern literature or whatever. There's like an element of that's like respected in that world, but it doesn't transfer over to like
it's called the Mark Twain Award, but
right, yeah, right, yeah,
but
exactly.
no one associates reading with the South,
exactly, yeah. But I mean, look, I also do get it,
I mean, we earned it. We definitely earned it.
Yeah, yes. I feel like I start to sound too defensive sometimes about it, and I have to like back up and be like, well, listen, it's not totally off base.
My wife is like that too. Like when we talk about like racism or voting throughout America, she'll go off on a rant because she's like, just because like you think you live somewhere else, racism is throughout America. Don't try to just lump it onto us. It's just different. Down here, you don't have a little Italy and a little Jamaica, and it's like we all mixing together and and mad.
Yeah, right. I believe. And like I remember one time I say this on stage, but this really did happen. I was talking to this kind of like caricature of a coastal elite Hollywood type person, because I live in LA now, and like a very Hollywoody person, and her daughter was moving to Memphis, right, to go to college, right?
Okay.
Like at like a fancy private nice college in Memphis. And she was like genuinely scared to death. Right? This is a white lady, by the way, but like she was like worried for her daughter's safety or whatnot. Again, white lady, white daughter. She's just so terrified of the South. And so she was asking me, like, she was like, I mean, but just like the level, the systemic racism and everything that they have down there, I mean, like, how bad is that really or whatever? And I said, I was like, why are you asking me about it when the LAPD is right there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Yes.
LAPD, like famously horrifically racist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for years and years.
She watched Mississippi Burning, but she forgot to watch like Colors.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And
watch both movies.
And again, and I'm always saying, like, that's all I'm never trying to imply that the South isn't racist or doesn't have problems with racism. I'm only ever trying to point out that, like, so does Southern California, or so does Minnesota, or so was whatever. Yeah, right. Like it exists everywhere. Yeah. And some people use the South to act like it doesn't,
Yep. Like racism is baked into the soil. It is threaded throughout the flag. It is as American as apple pie.